Welcome to the Appleton Area School District Candidate Interview with Christine Sauter. Want to thank candidate Sauter for being with us today and being willing to share her ideas about the Appleton School District issues. First, I have a few preliminaries to go through. First of all, I need to remind everyone that League of Women Voters is nonpartisan and does not support or oppose any candidate or party. The responses will be timed, and you'll see the timer on the top of the PowerPoint screen. It'll be green and it'll be scrolling across the top as time passes. Questions came from League members and the public and are clustered around certain topics and the ideas that emerged most. So some of the wording might have been changed to get at the essence of the issue. We also requested and received questions from Appleton West, North, East, and Central students. They've been recorded and will be used in this interview. Remind everyone that there are 5 candidates running, and you need to vote for 3 candidates, and they will be voted in for 3-year terms. So let's start off with candidate Sauter. Please introduce yourself and explain your connection to the Appleton Area School District and why you are running for school board.
All right, first I'd like to say thank you to the League of Women Voters for providing this opportunity. My name is Christine Sauter. I often go by Chris. I'm a lifelong resident of Appleton, and I'm a proud product of Appleton schools, graduating from Appleton East. My spouse, 2 children, and siblings also graduated from Appleton schools, and I have family members currently attending Appleton schools. I'm a graduate of UW-Oshkosh in education with certifications in regular education and special education. I previously served as the Assistant Director of Alumni Relations at Lawrence University. I'm also a retired Appleton Area School District teacher with nearly 30 years of experience in the district in special education and regular education and substitute teaching in the areas of early childhood through 8th grade. I also have held multiple volunteer coaching and leadership roles, supporting student involvement in sports, arts, forensics, and graduation activities. And I have a strong belief in the power and the importance of education. I've been a member of the AASD Board of Education since 2020, served as vice president the past 2 years, served on Business Services and Programs and Services Committee, and currently on Community Linkages, tasked with outreach to constituents. Attendance at school events has been a priority during my tenure on the board, and I'm committed to working to meet the individual academic, social, emotional, and behavioral needs of each student. Additional goals include addressing mental health, retaining and attracting exemplary staff members who feel valued and empowered, providing a welcoming and safe environment for all students, staff, families, and community members, and remaining fiscally responsible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our first student question comes from Aaliyah Mans, who is a senior at Appleton Central High School.
Hi, my name is Aaliyah Mans. I'm a senior at Appleton Central High School, and the question I have for you today is, as an Appleton Area School District Board member, what can you do for students to ensure that they feel wanted, welcomed, and are comfortable at school so they are prepared to learn?
Thank you for that question, Leah. Yes, I think there are many things that we can do. First, we need to provide that welcoming atmosphere by making sure that students are feeling comfortable and welcomed. Many times that is ensuring that they have a positive working relationship with staff members, that they feel accepted in their environment and valued as an individual, that they're asked sometimes what they, what they need, that they have choices in maybe activities and assignments that they do that might make them feel a little bit more engaged in the process. I think as much as we can also include hands-on activities and working with peers, that also provides an opportunity for people to feel welcomed. And I just think that just the daily contact with important adults in their life, as well as their peers, will do a lot to make students feel welcomed, engaged, and feel valued in their environment.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Maya Kofi. She's senior and editor-in-chief for the Appleton North High School newspaper.
Hello, my name is Maya Kofi, and I'm a senior at Appleton North High School. According to the National Institute of Health and the National Library of Medicine, 82% of transgender youth have seriously considered taking their own lives. What steps do you believe the Appleton Area School District should take to protect the well-being of this vulnerable demographic of students? Thank you.
Thank you for that question. As all students, I think everyone needs to feel welcomed in our schools, and we have a responsibility to make sure that all students have their needs met. And we know that all students come to us with different needs. I think it's very important that we honor students where they're at, and I do know that this is a very sensitive issue for many people. But I also believe that students do deserve to have the supports that they need to be successful in school. And we need to work hard at meeting those needs with the students and with their families as well. So I believe that this is an area of great concern because of the mental health concerns, particularly with this group of students. So mental health, again, is an area that we need to focus on, and we need to work with each individual student in order to meet their individual needs.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Delaney Lehman. She's a senior at Appleton East High School and editor of the student newspaper.
Hi, my name is Delaney Lehman, and I'm an editor for The Courier, Appleton East student newspaper. Here's my question. With more and more threats of gun violence and etc., what would your plan be to resolve or prevent further threats from occurring? What plans would you do to make students feel more safe in the Appleton Area School District? Thank you.
Thank you for that question. I believe that safety is a very important piece of school attendance, and the board is certainly very concerned about making sure that we have safe schools. We attempt to have safe entry. We attempt to have as many opportunities for drills as possible. Again, I think that much of this boils down to connection with individuals in our schools, be that your adults and peers, that it creates this environment where if something is awry, individuals notice those sorts of things more probably a little bit earlier than if there's not a connection with students. So we need to continue to do what we can to physically keep the schools safe, but we also need to make sure that we're encouraging the relationships between individuals to help identify any threats to the safety in the schools.
Thank you. Many experts believe that effective teachers have the highest influence on student achievement. What approach do you propose for the Appleton Area School District to attract and retain qualified, effective teachers?
Yes, this is an area of great concern because there are fewer individuals going into the teaching profession. So we do need to provide competitive wages and benefits. We need to provide a positive, safe work and learning environment. We also need to look at and evaluate the workload regularly and make it more manageable for our teachers. That includes consistent monitoring of initiatives and systems with input from all stakeholders, including the teachers. Also, I believe mental health plays a role in this as well. So perhaps some additional training in that, as well as more mental health resources for teachers. And some of the ways that we might be able to do that is looking at areas such as stay interviews, which includes questions about what makes you stay in your position, what would encourage you to look for other employment, how can we support you? And again, we're not only competing with other school districts, but teachers are also very good employees in other industries. So we want to do what we can do to make this the best environment for them to want to stay and teach in our schools.
Thank you. What are the leadership responsibilities of school board members in collaboration and building consensus with administration, parents, teachers, and the community? How will you facilitate all voices being heard?
That actually, the board has made that one of our goals that are actually in the last year to year and a half when we've adopted the coherent governance model. And we have developed a community cafe. And as a part of that, we have met, I think, about 8 or 9 times with community members to get their opinions and to find out what they view as strengths, what they view as areas of opportunity for growth, just getting a general feel. And we are actually going to be using those strategies with our staff as well as students, hopefully before the end of this school year. So I do believe it's a very important role and responsibility of the board, because we need to be able to have all stakeholders involved in decisions, because as we work together, the more collaboration, the more successful our students will be. So again, that is a board goal, and I'm very happy that it is, because the outreach has been very positive and has given us a lot of information to share.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Esther Anderley. She's a junior at Appleton West High School and Renaissance School for the Arts, and editor-in-chief of the student newspaper.
Hello, my name is Esther Anderley. I'm a student at Renaissance at Appleton West, as well as the editor-in-chief of the school newspaper at West, The Talisman. My question is, what are your opinions on the current book bans and censorship occurring in other places in our country?
Yes, the book bans are concerning to me. I believe that people have the right to determine what their family might choose to read, but I also believe that they do not have the right to deny others the right to read books or other materials. So we are fortunate, I think, in the Appleton School District to have a policy, though, if someone comes forward with a concern about books or materials, we do have a policy that is very specific and addresses that issue. But again, I don't believe that it's the right of anyone to deny someone else the opportunity to read a book or other materials.
Thank you. What are your thoughts on the curriculum development process and assuring that curricula are culturally responsive and inclusive?
Yes, our curriculum development process is, the curriculum is written by the staff under the direction of the superintendent, but it is totally based on state standards, and it reflects board-approved district values and policy. So it is constantly being evaluated. As far as being culturally responsive, that's absolutely important. The AASD values and has an obligation to reflect and include all the populations we serve through culturally responsible curriculum and practices. Our students deserve to see themselves in the curriculum and in the materials that are used in the district.
Thank you. Standard-based grading and learning intentions have been implemented in Appleton's education system. Do you believe that these practices are accomplishing their goals, and how have you seen them affecting students and teachers?
So the standard-based grading and learning, I know has been some people have questioned the value of the standard-based grading rather than the traditional grading. And actually, the standard-based grading takes grading and develops a rubric that indicates a student's level of understanding from beginning through mastery. And so there may be a number of standards that are being evaluated in one grade, but a student must show some sort of mastery in each of those standards. So it actually, in many ways, is a more stringent grading system. And I think that I know that it is being evaluated constantly, and there's been work being done on that too with teachers. I know there's been input from parents and from students. And so I know that there's some work being done on making that, just refining it to make it a little bit more easily understood, I think, for everyone.
Thank you. There are programs like Help Me Grow, Birth to Three, Home Visitation, Head Start that all support families with resources and developmental screening for early identification and intervention when needed. How should the school district work with these local programs? What early childhood investments do you believe the school district should make to impact school readiness?
We are really fortunate, I think, in this community to have so many programs and so many collaborations with outside agencies. And as noted in this question, the Help Me Grow, Birth to Three, Home Visitation, I think are all really critical for families as they are moving into the school system. I mean, the research shows that the earlier students are read to, the more successful they're likely to be in all of their academic ventures. So again, I do believe that the district does a lot of outreach and a lot of collaboration with outside agencies, and are constantly looking for opportunities to do so. So any opportunities that for that collaboration, I believe, are areas that we will investigate when they become available.
Thank you. What do you think are the strengths and weaknesses of the Appleton Area School District, and how would you help to improve our weaknesses?
Okay, I think some of the strengths are we have a lot of options for programming. We have 13 charter schools, many programs that give families and students choices that might best meet their learning style. We also have a wide variety of curricular and extracurricular activities that hopefully will engage most students. We have a talented and dedicated staff, and we heard that over and over as we did our referendum presentations, and even in all of our board community cafes. That has been one positive that has come through every single time. We have been a very fiscally responsible district. Areas of growth, I believe, are addressing mental health. We do need to continue to focus on that. Communication, it's a large district, and so sometimes the consistency of the message needs to be worked on. We also need to continue to work on seeking input from stakeholders that are a part of our community, and increasing reading and math proficiency and retaining staff. And all of these are issues that are being addressed and constantly through our staff as well as board oversight.
Thank you. And our final question, why should voters choose you for the Appleton Area School Board?
Well, we are fortunate to have good candidates, I believe, for this election. I believe I'm a strong candidate. I'm asking you to consider a vote for me on April 4th. Along with my teaching experience, I've gained valuable experience on the board the past 3 years. I remain committed to meeting the needs of all students, looking at increasing student achievement, closing achievement gaps, prioritizing safety, seeking ways to increase support for mental health needs, and supporting our talented staff and making sure they feel valued and have a voice. And again, we need to remain fiscally responsible. I have an immense appreciation for the time and effort and the dedication that's required to be an effective board member. I thoroughly prepare for meetings, actively seek input from stakeholders, and I believe respectfully engage in a collaborative approach with all stakeholders. And doing that successfully, our entire community will be stronger and our students will be prepared to lead healthy, happy, and fulfilling lives. Thank you for considering a vote for me on April 4th, and a special thanks to the League of Women Voters for sponsoring this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And a special thank you to candidate Sauter for running for school board and taking the time to share your responses with the Appleton Area School District voters. And I also want to thank the students and the school newspaper staff advisors for their contributions and assistance to this slide. And a few reminders. So the spring election is Tuesday, April 4th. You know when that is? That's the Tuesday in the middle of spring break for the Appleton Area School District. So I need to remind everyone that if you are going somewhere on your well-deserved break, that you vote early at your municipality, or you get your absentee ballot in and have that completed and sent in before election day, before you leave on your break. So go to myvote.wi.gov to make sure you're registered, to request an absentee ballot if you need to, and also to see what else is on your ballot. There are a number of referendum and, of course, the state Supreme Court race, which is very important. I would encourage you to find some nonpartisan voter information, and I've put a few websites here that you can look at that are going to give you information without having a slant. And I'll especially say vote411.org is nonpartisan, and you can find some information there. And with that, I want to thank you all for joining us.